we go. All right. I think I just fixed it. Is it good? Are we looping? Yep. Sorry. So
it seems good now.
Let me just explain to everybody why it's so complicated, okay? Because, you know, we are extremely smart people. Like, high smart. You know what I mean? Like, seriously smart. There's super, super smart people here. And the fact that what we're doing, which is crazy, is this is Nick Schmidle. I guess I'm pointing to him on the Zoom. Yes, hi. He's a world-famous author, very accomplished writer. This is Aron Magner. He's a world-famous keyboardist extraordinaire and composer. And I'm John Gubelig. I play guitar in the Biscuits. And then the three of us have gotten together to make a new hot air balloon rock opera that is new songs, new everything, new name, new characters, blah, blah, blah. And to do this, the three of us need to be in a room together to basically figure out, what we all like and how to make this better, and to, get that like group, explosion of inspiration and whatnot. And to do that, because Nick lives in London, to do that, we have to somehow get a London person into our studio here in Pennsylvania. So Aron can come to we're in my basement right now, so Aron can come here. But Nick can't, because it's like a whole flight, and he doesn't do airplanes. It's some like weird thing, right? So essentially, we've devised this system where we are on headphones in the studio with a piano that's mic'd. Aron, hit the piano for a second. Let's see if they have the mic. There's the piano, right? So we have the piano here in the studio, and I have a guitar, which is on the wall right there, and I could do that. But the other thing is we also need Nick to be able to talk to us while we're playing the songs. So Nick is running from London through Zoom into the mixing board, which is over here, and that goes into the system. So the loop, I think, that we were having is me talking, Nick's system picking it up, sending it back here, and then it going back into the thing. But because we don't need that right now, we'll just mute that, and now we have no loop. So I just want to say this is crazy what we're doing, because we are not in the same room, we're not in the same country, and frankly, Nick doesn't even speak the same language, frankly. Not even the same thing. So I hope that helps everybody understand. And whoever said that we would be late for the live stream, it's only 5:13, and we figured out all our technical problems. So I don't know. It's not late. What do you guys think?
We were due to be on time. We were actually ready for the past 20 minutes.
Sorry, do that again?
I said we were due to be on time. We were just we were ready for 20 minutes beforehand. We just got a little bit caught up in the endless feedback loop.
Yeah, and that may happen again, because I don't know exactly which button fixed it, to be honest. And we can't see what you're seeing because it's like 30 seconds delayed, so we don't even know what you guys are watching right now. You guys are watching something else. All right, so does anyone want to do the synopsis of The Very Moon? Nick, you want to give us a little 1, 2, 3 about what's going on?
Sure. So, all right. So, I mean, the synopsis of sort of how we got to where we got, or synopsis of the story?
I think that's maybe the story. Let's go right to the story.
Well, look, I mean, I feel like many people sort of know the outlines of the original hot air, or the original rock opera. Idealistic inventor creates hot air balloon, and tyrant steals the balloon and throws him in jail, and inventor is separated from as a result of that, inventor is separated from his love, right? So we sort of took that story and took the original characters, and we've run with some elements of it. We've kind of reimagined other elements of it. We've created new characters. We've created entirely new storylines. And so now we are in we're in kind of a steampunk world in which we're not really sure if we're in the future or the past, but we're probably in the past because we don't have hot air balloons yet. And our hero Coronado, his pal, his sidekick, his sort of partner in arms for this adventure is a 12-year-old street urchin named Mabel Mulberry, and stories is sort of opens in her from her perspective, and we're on this godforsaken island where that is ruled by the cruel evil tyrant Manila Train, who is has taken the daughter of the vanquished former regime, whom he stole power from in a coup. He has wed their daughter, and he has a henchman who was one of the other characters, Hacklet the henchman. And so it is sort of Hacklet the henchman are the antagonists. Mabel Mulberry, Coronado, and Leora are the protagonists. So that's the outline of the story, and yeah, that's where we sort of went. That's like the narrative skeleton of the story, and then we've begun writing songs through those characters, through entirely new storylines, etc.
That's right. Now I see a question here. There's new songs in the Hab by Rob Lieber-Farb, and there are probably going to be. So the new one is called The Very Moon, and there's probably going to be twice as many songs in The Very Moon than there are in the Hab, at least I would think.
And that's what we've been doing here, making these songs. Nicholas has written the book, as they say. Incredible character development. There's definitely gripping and compelling plot line with characters, some that you were familiar with from the story of the hot air balloon, some that have been inserted into the story, some that have evolved in their character arc and are now taking on a different role in how they relate to the other characters that you might be familiar with from the story. So, like any art form, it's evolved into something different than what it was. And the hot air balloon has always been so impactful to the genesis of this band, the lifeline of this band. And we've performed the hot air balloon a handful of times in sequence, culminating in, I think it was 2018 over New Year's, and we kind of dressed, ironically like steampunk costumes and played the songs in sequence, and we had some characters walking around on stage. But this is an entirely different entity. It is built for musical theater. Again, there's a whole storyline that gets pretty deep and well thought out. New characters, singing, and I don't know whether we have dancing. Do we have dancing? No dancing, right? Some dancing?
No dancing.
How do you guys feel about dancing? No dancing.
Eventually dancing.
Eventually dancing.
What's the slogan about dancing?
When dialogue's not enough, you sing. When singing's not enough, you dance.
Yes.
So we're still trying to figure out the singing parts, but once we nail that, then there will be dancing.
Interesting. So I just over the course of the hot air balloon was 1999, so over the course of almost 25 years now, it's just taking on a new life, and I think that that's one of the coolest parts about aging gracefully the way that we have been, is the characters and the art kind of ages along with it, and it's evolved and metamorphosized into what this is going to become. And the creative process that we're all kind of like taking part of, sitting here in the basement, the creative process of workshopping it to a live crowd, because as we know, even in music, you can rehearse something time and time again, but it doesn't become realized until you're actually there in front of an audience. It's a very important part of the chemistry in order for these songs to kind of be birthed properly. So workshopping it in front of a live crowd is definitely part of that artistic arc that we're trying to establish, and being able to do it here in Philadelphia, a mere blocks from where the debut of Hot Air Balloon happened in 1999, with what's probably going to be, a theater composed of, fans, hopefully fans bringing their kids too, this... Does anybody want to talk about I mean, we're not shooting for a specific demographic here, but there's definitely appeal that can happen not just for Biscuit fans or musical theater fans, but I'm seeing my 11-year-old was reading the treatment the other day, and he was fully immersed and able to have a full conversation about the characters and the plot line and the twist and everything like that. So it was gripping and compelling to my 11-year-old. I could definitely see this being gripping and compelling to other people's 11-year-olds, 15, 9, whatever it is. And the Sunday performance, which we haven't spoken about yet, will be a matinee on Mother's Day. So if you're looking for something to do as a family or a treat for your wife or kids, this sounds fun. That's what I'll be doing on Mother's Day.
I mean, that's a good point. Like, if you were to take your kids to a Biscuit show, that would be, a strong parenting decision. I don't know how good that would be, but this would be a beautiful thing to bring your kids to. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Let's talk about what the show's gonna be like, because there's a lot of questions about basically, we have a lot of people wondering who's singing, is there dancing, is there improv? I saw that question. Nick, do you want to handle a little bit of that?
Yeah. So, will there be improv? I kind of think actually to the answer. So let's the answer of who's singing. The answer, who's singing will be the 5 actors. So we have an incredible cast, and they are right now learning the songs and sort of immersing themselves in the existing songs, the new songs, the storylines. So they will be the ones. They'll be the ones singing. One of the things that I think is going to be, is interesting for John and Aron is to hear someone else sing these songs for the first time. We don't know like how will someone, John is very used to singing Bizarre Escape, but it's a mouthful, and like, how is that going to sound? This is part of the workshopping process, is figuring out how, and these people are professionals. They're going to knock it out of the park, but that's part of the experiment. Will there be dancing? There will be potentially movement on stage. There'll be sort of talk about like the gestures of movement there. We don't know how much movement and staging there will be. I think we all have kind of aspirations in our head of how far the show will kind of get in the 3 days of rehearsal, workshopping beforehand, but not 100% sure. And then will there be improv? That is, there won't be much, but there won't be much, but there may be some, which is kind of, that's about it. But I think that just to get back to the question of kind of audience, I do think that tonally and sort of the world that we're living in the show is very much inspired by my experience of what I like to watch with my 9 and 12-year-old son, 8 and 12-year-old son, which is a lot of Studio Ghibli movies like Scorsese's Hugo. These movies that are sort of, they're either adult movies that have young characters that let young audiences engage, or they are ostensibly children's stories that reach an older audience. And so I think that we wanted to kind of take it out of the, this is why I think we settled on a young character as our storyteller in some ways, as the opening voice of Mabel Mulberry. And so that's, I think a lot of the questions of sort of what does the show look and sound like will ultimately be determined in those 3 days leading up to the show. But the songs, I will say that we have probably 7 or 8 songs already with sort of demos cut that are that sound, I won't say polished, but sound mature and sound like they're ready to be sung by someone. So it's going to be, and these are not structurally demanding songs necessarily, but they are they are sort of show tunes with a distinct, with like Disco Biscuit's fingerprints all over them.
That sounds like pretty accurate to me. I mean, the songs are, there's some rules of writing Disco Biscuit songs that are being, like, literally today are being broken. And so it is a very, very different process. A lot of what we do is kind of like in the studio is improv our way to a song. By Aron plays piano and I play guitar or drums or sing, and Nick is like feeding us lyrics and storyline and plot and stuff like that. And then we just kind of cook that for a while and see if we can, turn it into something that we all really like. And we record that process. And then the next step is going to be putting those lyrics and music and chords onto other musicians who aren't us and watching them perform the stuff. And that's what we've invited y'all to. That's what the Saturday show is, and that's what the Sunday show is. And I think a lot of people are thinking that it's going to be like me and Aron doing a Broadway thing together with a couple people in the background dressed like potted plants. And that is not it, folks. I think we're going to be on stage. We're going to be milling around. We're going to be there. We're going to be trying to make it as good as possible. We might be interluding in some way as possible. We'll probably be grabbing a microphone and explaining away some of the situations one way or another. But we probably won't be the focal point of the show itself. We've hired some really, really good, straight Philadelphia theater talent to take care of the singing and the presentation, if you will.
Yeah.
Aron, what do you think about that? Is that pretty accurate?
I mean, that's exactly what's going to happen here. Which, I don't know what our acting skills would be like otherwise. So I'm kind of glad that we have professional, local Philadelphia talent to be able to help tell this story.
Exactly.
And there will be a conversation after both shows, though. Part of the workshop process is testing the material and seeing how it lands, seeing, just kind of, this is sort of a calf standing up on its wobbly legs for the first time. And this is our opportunity with you all, if the calf sort of falls under its own weight, is to figure out how to kind of let it stand back up again. Or maybe that song just sucks and you just let the calf die. So part of it is that workshopping process afterwards is for a half an hour, 45 minutes, kind of depending on how it goes. We want to kind of have that be an interactive conversation. It's not just John and I and Aron standing up on the stage and telling you stuff. We want to be answering questions about, we're a little bit sort of reluctant to talk too much, to get into the music too much right now, because we have 3.5 weeks to nail it. But at that point, we want people to give specific feedback as much as they can about the feel of the show, the run of the songs, the mix of the songs, perspectives, things that we've done with existing songs that some people are going to say, wow, that sounds like, how could you take Mulberry's Dream and sort of do that to it or something. And that's, that I think has been the fun of it.
Well, I think that everybody needs to be prepared that we, are going to take Mulberry's Dream and do something with it, right? But we're also going to have, the classic OG, hot air balloon songs interwoven into the story, interwoven with the new songs. So there'll be familiarity, there'll be new things to discover, there'll be musical references to songs within songs that you haven't heard before. All these things are what's exciting me in the creative process that we're still in right now.
So let me ask you a quick question, Nick. There's a conversation the Saturday show sold out in 3 minutes. The Sunday show is going to go on sale. Do you want to tell us when that is?
Yes, Thursday morning at 10 a.m. At the Fringe Arts website. And Fringe Arts, they're our partners in this, and they've been our partners in this since John and I met Nick Stucchio, who is the head of Fringe Arts, back in the fall, and he offered us the opportunity to come and workshop in the space. And so they have been very generously open their doors to us. And so they're our partners in this adventure or misadventure. We'll figure out how that is on the 14th. But so tickets will be available there. They've just opened up a restaurant and bar, which would be great because we'll be able to hang out there beforehand. During the show, there'll be an opportunity during intermission to go next door and grab a drink, and then afterwards, we are going to sort of encourage. I mean, there will be a attendee specific workshopping session after both shows. And then I'm sure we'll be hanging around at the restaurant and bar, and we'll continue that conversation for however long people want to have it. I mean, ultimately, I have to fly back to London so that I can be doing this time warp thing, but, sometime.
You can talk to Nick on Zoom. It's absolutely incredible. You even write songs with him on Zoom, apparently.
He lives in the future.
All right, so there's been a couple of questions that have been popping up over and over again. One of the questions is, are we going to live stream this show? Is the audio going to be made available? Aaron, do you want to handle that one?
Oh, I don't know what the answer to that one is, so I no.
All right,
I don't want to handle it.
I think so. We're making plans right now. We're not done with those plans, but we're making plans to record the audio and record the video. But this isn't something that we probably would live stream. Honestly, what we would do is do this again next fall, where there's costumes. You know what I mean? This is going to be very much like, here are the songs we wrote. Here are people performing them. Alex Bechtel will be playing the piano for them and guiding the singers through it. And you guys can kind of get in on how we are making music, like what a little bit of the process is. This is a point in the process that's very important. This is the first time that other people will be singing the songs and feeling out the new music, including the piano parts. So this is what this is. You guys would come to this, we see this, we'll talk around it and make a show out of it. That's basically I don't know if live streaming it would really suit. It's really, you got to be there type of thing. And if you don't live in Philly, well, we'll do it again for you some other time in some other form. What are you thinking, Nick?
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, I think part of the reason why we are recording it, audio and video, is so that we can then, in the days and weeks and months afterwards, dissect it and break it down and figure out, for our sort of study that tape and figure out also what's working and what's not. And it just, with the theater experience is different than the live music experience, because obviously living theater is, there is an element of unpredictability and spontaneity in that experience. But, we are trying to kind of make the show you saw the night before better, but it's not, it's not a Disco Biscuits concert where you're going to get a completely unrecognizable set list from night to night. And so because of that, there is we do want people to see it firsthand, and watching it over a video or sort of watching a live stream in some ways kind of would rob you of that sort of a unique theater experience.
You don't really see many plays live streamed, right?
No.
Eventually, Hamilton will make it to, a Disney, production and stream. And maybe that was just a pandemic thing. Right? There's adaptability of plays to, TV, but it feels like one of those art forms that, you have to be there for, right?
Totally.
Yeah. There's a lot of that. Okay, so we hope you guys have gotten the idea here. It's called The Very Moon Musical. It is based on the Hot Air Balloon, but it's a remake, you know what I mean? Just like Disney remakes their stuff, we're remaking our stuff. And essentially, since you guys are, Disco Biscuit fans, we're going to basically end this wonderful conversation. Our last question that we'll take is a question I've seen over and over again, which is make a feature film next. That we're not worried about that stuff, but I love that you guys want us to make a film and do all this stuff. We'll get there. Now we got to make sure the songs slap. You know what I mean? So once the songs slap, we'll have all these crazy conversations. Essentially, the one last question I think is mostly for you, Aaron, is: are these songs going to make it to the Disco Biscuits stage?
That is not the intention as of now. But like we were kind of talking about earlier, characters and songs and art seems to evolve in different and unpredictable ways. So could it wind up in the Biscuit stage? Yeah, definitely. Could there be something very organic that happens, at our upcoming shows in May, where you and I quote something that Mark and Alan might not even recognize, right? And we just give each other a wink, and that happens organically. There was a couple of songs in the sessions 3 weeks ago where we were like, oh, this would be a great Biscuit song. So yeah, you never know, but the intention right now is certainly for this production of The Very Moon.
Are you talking about Falling? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
There's one. We wrote 2 new Biscuit songs this weekend that are fire.
They slap.
They slap,
as my 11-year-old says.
They're not related to any operas or anything. They're just songs. And there's one. Then the one song that we've been working on recently from this that has had like that kind of fire vibe to me. There is one song that we made, and then there's 3 songs that are, I think, potential Bisco stage songs. I don't know. You never know. Like, we'll see what happens. Come to May 13th, May 14th. Come see us. May 14th is a matinee, so it's going to be early. It's Mother's Day. You got to go whatever for your mother. So you got to come see us first, get in a good mood, bring your girl, bring your kids, whatever you want to do. But let me tell you guys real quick, there is a Very Moon musical Instagram page. A lot of people complained to me when I was on vacation and the tickets went on sale and they were done in 3 minutes, and I got so many messages that was like, what are you doing? Why didn't you tell us? Why didn't you let us know? So Nick here went through all the trouble of making an Instagram page, the Very Moon musical Instagram page. And y'all go follow that Instagram page so that you know when the ticket, where the links for the tickets, where they're going to be, exactly what time, Thursday 10 a.m. Eastern, and exactly how to get them and all these things. And there's not very many tickets. It's a little tiny small theater. It's like 200-300 people. So the tickets are gone in 10 seconds, and that's just the way it's going to be probably again this Thursday. We hope that you guys on the live stream are buying tickets and there at the event so we can show you the fancy poster that we made. And for only people who get there, only people who show up. And we know the Philly crew will be there. So is that it? Anybody want to close with anything?
I mean, Aaron, do you want to play a piano note or two for us?
I'll just end with like my favorite chord to end on. Happy clouds. Happy clouds. No, I mean, I don't think that me sitting here in front of a piano and us kind of carooning one of these songs is going to do it justice before it kind of gets in front of an audience with professional theater singers and stuff like that. Let's have our first impression be a professional one. We're trying to tell the story that this is out there. Come support us, follow along. This process, at least for me, has been so rewarding creatively, and to take this hot air balloon to, a different evolution level. So it's a fun story to follow along with. So, again, Instagram page, Very Moon the Musical, and we'll keep you kind of updated as we continue down this journey.
Thanks, everybody.
Awesome. Hey, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you Thursday. Have a great day.
See you guys.
Okay.